Assalamu alaikum everyone. In today's video, we'll be discussing physics paper 1 questions. I have selected some random questions from the physics past papers, and in total, there are 40 questions that we will be discussing today. So let's get started. This first question is from the topic of radioactivity. So the question is radioactive isotopes that emit alpha, beta, gamma are stored in wooden boxes that are lined with the material that prevents most radiation escaping. So they are saying that most of the radiations from escaping are prevented, and the particles are alpha, beta, and gamma. So the diagram is given here. Which material is used for the lining? Let's check out the options. Most radiations are prevented from escaping out. Copper, no. Glass, no. Plastic, no. Correct option is lead. Then question number 2. Which statement about all three radioactive emissions is correct? So let's read out the statements. They are all completely absorbed by aluminum thin sheet. No. They are deflected by electric fields. No. They are deflected by magnetic fields. No. They all causes ionization of gases. Yes. So option D is correct for question number 2. Then question number 3. What is meant by half-life of a radioactive substance? So for this question, you need to remember the definition of half-life. Half-life is the time for half uh, for the halves the unstable nuclei to decay. So option C is correct for question number 3. So now let's move towards question number 4. The diagram shows the output from an AC generator displayed on an oscilloscope screen. So this is an output displayed on the oscilloscope screen. The generator is turned at a slow rate. So generator is turned on at a slow rate and the setting of the oscilloscope are not controlled. Controls are not changed. So the control setting isn't changed. So what is the new output? Generator is turned on at a slow rate. So the waves, or you can say the diagram on the oscilloscope or the wave on the oscilloscope would be pretty slow, which so according to this, option B is correct for question number 4. Then question number 5. In the circuit shown all the cells are identical, the cells are identical, and all the lamps are identical. The cells are identical, all the lamps are identical, the switches are closed. So switches are closed in which circuit are both lamp the brightest. So let's have a look at the circuits. Firstly, you can see that there are diodes in all 4 circuits. So for a diode, you need to remember that the direction of the diode in through which the current passes. So the direction of the current and the direction of the diode arrow should be same. If the direction of the current and direction of the diode arrow are same, so current will pass through it. And if they are opposite, for example, this is the arrow of the diode and the current is coming from here. The direction of the arrow of the diode and the direction of the current is different, so current equals to 0 in case 1, and this is case 2 in which the current can flow through the diode. So option B or D, one of them would be correct. However, option A would be incorrect and option C would be incorrect. Okay. So you can see that this is the cell. These are the 2 lamps. So option D is correct in that in this circuit, both lamps are the brightest. Then question number 6. Why is the fuse used in electrical appliance? So fuse is used to protect the appliance. Then question number 7. A lamp is connected in series with a battery and a variable resistor, and the resistance of the variable resistor is decreased. So resistance R is decreased. Now, which statement is correct? First thing you need to remember that resistance is directly proportional to velocity, voltage, and resistance is inversely proportional to current. So when resistance reduces, current increases. Option A says the current in the lamp increases. Yes, this option is correct, but you can read the remaining three options, which is the current is variable. In the variable resistor decreases. No. The EMF, the resistance is decreasing, so the current would be increasing because they have an inverse relationship. The EMF of the battery decreases. No. The total resistance in the circuit increases. No. So option A is correct for question number 7. Then question number 8. Which expression gives the electromotive force EMF of a battery? So the formula for EMF is work done divided by charge, which is option D. Option D is correct for question number 8. Question number 9, a circuit contains two cells and two lamps. So circuit have two cells, two lamps, and the cells are new and are fully charged. So cells are new and fully charged. In which arrangement of the cells and lamps do the cell discharge the most quickly? Most quickly cell would be discharged in which circuit? So let's have a look on the circuits. In option A, you can see that two cells are in parallel, however, the lamps are in parallel. So if one cell stops working, but this cell will supply the current to these lamps. So option A would be incorrect because I think quickly discharge. Then option B, the cells are parallel, incorrect. Then option C. So in option C, you can say that cells are in series and these lamps are in parallel. So option C seems correct. And then in option D, this is also incorrect. The cell and the lamp are in series. So option C is correct for question number 9. Then question number 10. A plastic rod and a cloth are initially uncharged. They are uncharged. It is given in the question. The rod is then rubbed with the cloth and become positively charged. So the rod is rubbed and it becomes positively charged. The rod is then rubbed with the cloth and the cloth become positively charged. So the diagram is given here that you can see that cloth is positively charged. Now they are asking what is the sign of the charge? Sign of the charge on the plastic rod, this rod, and why does it become charged? So the sign when here is positive, here would be negative, and it becomes charged, negatively charged because the electron move from the cloth to the rod. So option A is correct for question number 11. Negative charge, and because the electron move, protons never move. So option C and D are incorrect because they have positive, and D is also incorrect because here is written proton. Proton never move, only electron move. Question number 12. An oscilloscope is used to demonstrate a sound. Which feature of oscilloscope trace is affected by the quality timbre of the sound? So which feature is affected? In oscilloscope, you see the shape of the sound wave. So option C is correct for question number 12. Question number 13. A kilogram of substance has a fixed shape. So the substance has a fixed shape, and the thermal energy supplied to the substance weakens the force of attraction between its molecule. So what is happening? Okay, so let's read out the options. Fixed shape means that the substance is solid. and thermal energy is supplied to the substance, which weakens the force of attraction between the molecules. So forces of attractions are being weak. So you can see that there is only one option for solid. A solid as is at its melting point. Yes, so option D is correct for question number 13. Question number 14. Question 14 says that which condition produces the greatest rate of evaporation from a liquid. So you should remember that temperature is directly proportional to rate of evaporation or evaporation. As the temperature increases, the rate of evaporation increases. And surface area is also directly proportional to evaporation. When the surface area increases, rate of evaporation increases. Greatest rate of evaporation from a liquid. Let's read out the options: high temperature, drought, and large surface area. Okay, high temperature, no drought, and large surface area. So option B is correct for question number 14. No. So option, because in option B it is no drought, but drought is necessary to drought can increase the rate of evaporation. So option A is correct for question number 14. Option B is incorrect because it have one option wrong, which is no drought. Option C is also incorrect because it have low temperature, and option D is also incorrect because it also have low temperature. So let's move towards question number 23. Which statement is correct? Both the longitudinal wave and transverse wave can travel at the speed of light. No, this statement is incorrect. You need to find the correct one. Both the longitudinal wave and the transverse wave of similar wavelength have the similar frequencies. No. Both longitudinal waves and transverse wave can travel in vacuum. No. Both longitudinal and transverse wave can travel in water. Yes. So option D is correct for question number 15. Then let's move towards question number 16. Question number 16 says a piece of iron of mass is m, is placed in a mixture of ice and water. Its temperature decreases from theta 1 to theta 2. How much thermal energy is lost by the piece of iron? To calculate the thermal energy lost by the piece of iron, you need to remember that the mass is given m. So when the mass is given, it means that the specific heat capacity is the formula of specific heat capacity is used. And the formula for specific heat capacity is thermal energy, which is Q equals to mass into specific heat capacity, which is small c, into the delta theta, which is change in temperature. So according to this equation, option A is correct for question number 16. Then question number 17. What is the process of heat transfer that can take place in vacuum? So radiation is the only process that takes place in vacuum. You should remember it or you should memorize this. The pressure, question number 18. The pressure at P of some trapped air is varied. The pressure is varied. The mass and the temperature remains constant. Which graph shows the volume of the air and the pressure? Firstly, you need to remember that pressure inversely proportional to volume. Means if one quantity increases, the other one decreases. If pressure increases, volume decreases. So in your mind, there would be a graph for the pressure and volume relationship or inverse proportional relationship, which is like this. Let's look at the options. So option D seems correct, but here see that at x-axis there is 1 upon v. So this option is incorrect. Option C is also incorrect. Option B is also incorrect because it shows direct relationship. But option A is correct. How? This is a graph for the constant. You can say a direct relationship, but at x-axis there is 1 upon v. So you can say when you make this equation of this graph, so it becomes like this. Pressure is inversely proportional to volume. That's why option A is correct for question number 18. Then question number 19, an object is accelerating along a straight horizontal track and the acceleration is uniform. Remember, the acceleration is uniform. You have for P1 in all subjects, you need to read out the MCQ, the questions twice to understand them, and if you are reading it once, you should read it carefully and underline the main points or the key points of the question, such as that the acceleration along the straight horizontal track and the acceleration is uniform, which speed time graphs represent the motion of the object. So when the speed time graph and acceleration is uniform, option A is correct. This shows a constant or uniform acceleration. Then this was question number 18, this was question number 19. Now question number 20. Here is it. What causes the friction effect experienced by a cyclist to increase? Using a lighter bicycle? No. Traveling at a greater speed? Yes. A smooth tire surface? No. A road surface covered in oil? No. So option B is correct for question number 20. Then this is question number 21. A boy starts at P and walks 3 kilometers, 3 meters due north from PQ, and then 4 meters due east to QR. The diagram is given. What is the shortest distance that he must now walk to have an overall displacement of 0? So remember this, according to the diagram, the shortest distance is this, which is 5 meters. So option C is correct for question number 21. Then question number 22. A student investigates a motion of ball falling through the air. Which quantity is vector? They are asking for the vector quantities. Vector are those quantities which have magnitude as well as direction. Diameter? No. Gravitational force? Yes. Distance? No. It's scalar. Speed is also scalar. So option B is correct for question number 22. Question number 23. This question usually appear in exam every year, and this is about the circular motion. In this question, you need to remember that circular motion is always perpendicular. So the diagram shows a car going around a circular track at constant speed. Which arrow shows the resultant force? The resultant force is always perpendicular, which is option D. Question number 24. An object in a laboratory is used to determine the gravitational field strength G. Which quantity is equal to G? So W equals to mg, weight equals to mass into gravitational field, W divided by m equals to G. So option C is correct for question number 24. Question number 25. A student takes measurements to find the density of a packed, regular shaped block. Which formula is used to calculate density? So density equals to mass upon volume, which is option A. Question number 26. Question 26 says 4 objects are made from the same material and have same volume. The volume is same, made up of same material. Which object is more stable? The object with more base area is the most stable. So option D is correct. Question number 27. And a metal wire is stretched by the force F and pulled up to the limit of proportionality. Which statement describes what happens when limit F is increased slightly? So when the limit of proportionality is reached and the wire is stretched still with the force F, the wire will continue to expand but not in direct proportional to F. So option B is correct for question number 27. This is question number 28. Let me zoom it out. Let's read out the question. Piston X is pushed into a hydraulic cylinder. Piston X produces pressure Px in the liquid cylinder of the cylinder. The diagram shows the cylinder. So the diagram is given. There are two other pistons Y and Z. The pressure on the piston X and Z are Py and Pz. What is the relationship between Px, Py, and Pz? So you need to remember one thing, that is that in hydraulic pressure, the pressure from at every point, or you can say from any direction, is same. In hydraulic pressure, pressure from any direction or any point is same. According to this statement, option D is correct for this question, question number 28. Question number 29. The question says, air is trapped by the cylinder in air is trapped in a cylinder by a piston. So the piston has trapped the air. The pressure is P. The pressure of the air is P and the length of the air is 20. The piston is moved outwards, means in this direction. The length of the air is increased by 40 centimeter. The temperature of the air remains constant. So now you need to find the new pressure. To find the new pressure, you will use the formula P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. Initial pressure is P, while the initial volume was 20 equals to P2. You need to find this or calculate this P2, which is new pressure, and the volume is, now firstly the volume was 20 and the second was 40. It increased by 40. 40 plus 20 equals to 60. So P into 20 divided by 60 equals to P2. 21s are 23s are P divided by 3. Option B is correct for the new pressure. Question number 29. Then question number 30. A 60 kg ice skater traveling initially at 3 slides across a horizontal icy surface. The skater breaks and comes to rest after 5 meters. The work done against the braking force is change in the kinetic energy of the skater. What is the braking force? So when it is given that the change in the kinetic energy and the work against is the change in kinetic energy, means that this work done, so let me rewrite it, means work done equals to kinetic energy. So the formula of work done is F into D, means distance, equals to 1 upon 2 mv squared, the formula of kinetic energy. Let's put the values now. Okay, so the initial velocity is 3, mass is 60. Okay, 1 upon 2 into 60 into initial velocity, which is 3 squared. You need to find the braking force, and the final velocity or the distance it came to rest is 5, equals to 5 into force. So let's put this value in the calculator. 60 into 3 squared. It gives 270. 270 divided by 5 gives 54. So option C is correct for question number Question number 30. Let's move towards question number 31. So, question 31 says which equation is used to find efficiency of a energy transfer. So, efficiency equals to useful energy output divided by total energy input. Option A is correct for question number 31. Then question number 32. Question 32 says that the diagram shows the inside of a refrigerator. When the refrigerator is switched on, what happens to the air near the cooling unit? So air near the cooling unit becomes the particles of the air or the molecules of the air move together and the density of the air increases. So option D is correct for question number 32. Then question number 33. What is a what is the color and what is the texture of a good absorber of infrared radiations? Okay. So according to this question, they are asking that what is the color and what is the texture. So the color would be for good absorber. So for good absorber, the color would be black and the texture would be dull. So option B is correct for question number 32. I think it's question number 33. Let's move towards next question, which is question number 34. So this question says, which temperature are used as the lower and the upper fixed points of a mercury for a mercury in a glass thermometer? So in a glass thermometer, the lower fixed points are the freezing point of water and the upper fixed point is the boiling point of water. So option B is correct for question number 34. Question number 35. Two glass liquid in liquid in glass thermometer have identical dimensions. Their dimensions are identical. One contains ethanol and the other is equal other and equal given volume of mercury. Ethanol expands. It's given ethanol expands more and mercury for the same temperature rise. How do the sensitivity and the range of the ethanol thermometer compare to those of the mercury? So range is inversely proportional to sensitivity. When the range increases, sensitivity decreases, and when sensitivity increases, range decreases. Okay. For the sensitivity of ethanol, the ethanol molecules expands and the sensitivity increases. When the sensitivity increases, the range decreases. So option B is correct for question number 17. I mean, which question was this? Question number 35. Let's move towards question number 36. A solar panels are used to with heat water with 500 kg, and the total area of the solar panel is 10 meters, and the average power output from each meter square of the panels are 3 watts. Okay, the specific heat capacity is 4200 joules. What is the increase in the temperature after 8 hours? So increase in temperature after 8 hours, assume that there is no heat loss. For this, firstly, what you need to do, the total area of the solar panel is 10 meter square and the average power output is 3000 watts. So 10 into 300, it's 300. 10 into 300 gives 3000 watts. Now, you need to use the formula which is energy, or you can say heat energy equals to power into time. Power is given 3000 watts and time is given 8 hours. You need to convert this 8 hours into seconds. For this, you need to multiply it by 3600. 3000 into 3600 into 8 into 3600, which gives us 8641234 zeros. So this is the heat energy. Then you will use this formula. Heat energy equals to mc delta theta. You need to find the increase in temperature. So delta theta will come here. However, this value of heat will go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros divided by 300. No, it's 500. The mass is 500. 500 and the specific heat capacity is 4200. When you put this in the calculator, so let me put it. The answer comes 41.1 means 41. So 41 option D is correct for this question, which is question number 36. Let's move towards question number 37. Question 37 says that the time graph, a temperature time graph is given of for a sample of wax that is heated so that it melts. Temperature, time, the mass is 200 grams, and the thermal energy is supplied to wax at constant rate of 12,000 joules minute. What is the specific latent heat of fusion? So the formula for specific latent heat of fusion is small l equals to Q, which is thermal energy, divided by M, which is mass. So you are given the mass. Mass is given, and the mass is 200. Before this, you can see, using this graph, you can see that time t equals to 7 minus 3, which gives 4 minutes. Now, the formula for energy is going to be used here. Now you get 4 minutes energy equals to power into time. So this energy is E, power is 12,000 into time, which is 4. Where we get this 12,000, it is given in the question that the constant rate is 12,000 joules per minute, which is power. When you will multiply it, you will get answer which is 48,000. 48,000 joules. So this is the energy. Now you got the energy. This energy or the Q are the same thing. This energy which is 48,000 divided by 200 gives you answer. Let me put it into the calculator. 48,000 divided by 200. 240. So option B is correct for this question number 37. Question number 38. So this question number 38 says the diagram shows one wavefront of a wave as it travels from a deep water to the shallow water. From D to S, which is deep to shallow. I told you previously in previous video that from deep to shallow, the speed decreases, the wavelength decreases, the frequency remains constant. So let's read out the options. The diagram is shown. What happens to the wavefront move into the shallow water? When this wavefront moves into the shallow water, its speed decreases. So let's look at the option. Speed of the wavefront increases. No, this is incorrect. It decreases. So option B is correct. But we can read the remaining two options, which is the wavelength of the wave remains constant. No. So they are talking about wavelength. Firstly, the wavelength, which is incorrect. Then we can see that the wave remains constant. No. And the wave increases. No. So option C and D are also incorrect. This was question number 38. Question number 39. Which example describes a transverse wave being refracted? So transverse wave being refracted, let's read out the options. Infrared wave, infrared waves traveling in an optical fiber, light waves from light waves from an object entering a magnified glass, ultrasound waves being used in jewelry cleaning, and water waves hitting a barrier. So they are saying that the transverse waves are being refracted. The transverse waves are being refracted in option B, that the light waves from an object entering a magnifying glass. So option B is correct for question number 39. Then the last question, question number 40. This question says a light reflects from a plane mirror as shown. This is shown. Which row is always correct? So let's read out the options. This is the light source. The light is coming from here. Angle of incidence, this is normal. And this is angle of reflection. It says reflection. So this would be, X would be a reflection, C or D. And when X and Y are added, it makes 90 degrees. So option D is correct for question number 20, question number 40. So this was all. I hope you understood it. Thank you.